Good evening. Today we will talk about what could be the cause of a headache, which we could not even think about at first glance, and it is unlikely that it would come to our mind. There is such an interesting feature in our organism that there are such connections about which we did not know and then found out. About one such connection between movement and muscles. Let's find out together today. And so, the headaches. Let's talk about it and how it is treated. People get treated for headaches, and when similar cases occur, after some time, you notice what's common. Between people who have a headache, what they have in common besides the fact that they have a headache. And it's exactly that headache that lasts throughout the day. It's not the kind of headache that you wake up with in the morning, but the one that appears by the evening, for example, when there's some kind of physical strain, or its absence, or varied physical exertion. Something inexplicable is occurring gradually. Seems like you woke up all good, but then by lunchtime, or after lunch, or before lunch, or by evening, a headache starts at any unexpected time. It doesn't warn us when it will start, but it starts anyway. And what's common between these people whose headache appears during the day, not from the morning? As you understood from this picture, see, there's already a hint. The hands affect the fact that the head can hurt. And it can hurt anywhere. It can even hurt behind the ear. It can even hurt high up. Even the lobe can hurt. And there is such a feature that if we want to make a movement, and even if that muscle which makes this movement is not very ready for the load, instead of it, another muscle can make the movement. That's how it's all arranged. Here is the deltoid muscle. It should lift our hand for us. The middle deltoid muscle, if we talk about separate bundles of muscles, it will lift our hand to the side. The front deltoid muscle will lift our hand forward. They can combine since we can lift the hand in different ways. And so, the load switches from the middle deltoid and the front one. There is also a rear one. It works little in life, but it is also needed. But in this case, what affects the headache more is the work of the front and middle deltoid. We also have a trapezius muscle. It is located here. It goes like this. This is its upper part. But in general, the whole trapezius is a large muscle. It is located here, between the shoulder blades. It covers this upper part of the spine. What does it do? Its main task is to hold the shoulder blades back, to bring the shoulder blades together, and depending on which part of it works, lower, middle, or upper, a certain part of the shoulder blade will move more. For example, the lower portion of the trapezius works more, the lower corner of the shoulder blade, here it is, it comes here, to the vertebra. The middle part, more focus is on the upper one. Here is the upper corner of the shoulder blade. What weakens very often is this upper part of the trapezius muscle, and it constantly gets tired, constantly hurts, the shoulders are shifted forward. All because the chest muscle turns out to be stronger than the trapezius. The trapezius is constantly relaxed, then stretched, and still it gets stiff. The main function of the trapezius is to hold the shoulder blade here, that is, not to let it go forward here, to sag here. But there is also such a side function that begins to work when the deltoid stops working. That is, ideally, when the hand is raised, the deltoid muscles should take more load on itself. But if I have some problems with the deltoid, then the trapezius begins to help me. And the problems can be in the fact that it is just so weak that it cannot withstand the weight of the hand. For a few movements, it can raise the hand, but then it can't make the second or third movement. The trapezius begins to help it, and the angle for the trapezius is not very comfortable. Only its small part works here, a small part of the trapezius muscle, which begins to be constantly overloaded, stretches, inflames, and it attaches directly to the occipital bone. And this unpleasant pain in the occiput, it is very often associated with what a person does with their hands. Their deltoid can't withstand the load shifts to the trapezius. The trapezius, because it's not working at full capacity but only as a small part, also starts to get overloaded. And from this arises such pain. That is, here, on this schematic drawing, it is shown how the deltoid lifts the arm here. And as you can see, the trapezius lifts the arm, because as you can see, there is a double thickness here and a single one here. And therefore, you see how a trapezius is here? This does not mean that it has become so powerful. It's just overloaded. And here it is not overloaded. Here it also works, but not as strongly as here. It does not perform the main work. So, what to do? This is all, of course, good, you may say in the comments. But what to do? Now, when your head will hurt, you know why it hurts. But what to do so that it does not hurt? We, of course, want to know. For this, deltoid is needed. You will be relaxing the trapezius. You will be relaxing it every day. Or, 3 days in a row or 4, it doesn't matter. It will hurt anyway. It will hurt all the time until this deltoid grows. In order for it to grow, there are special exercises for the deltoid, which you will learn right now. So, the deltoid muscle. First, the anterior deltoid. It's easier to master this exercise for the anterior deltoid. It's better, it listens to you more than the middle one. The middle one is a bit complicated, but still, certain movements have to be made to exclude other muscles. Especially when the muscle hasn't been used for a long time, start with a lighter weight and then move on to a heavier one a bit later. Take any weight, but start with half a kilogram. This depends on how you assess your physical preparation. Lean on your back like this. Lean on the wall with your back. Why are we doing this? To ensure that during the movement, such a movement will be there, so that you don't help yourself with your back like this. You will feel like you are lifting the weight well enough with your hands, but it's your back working for you. So we lean on the wall with our back. We exclude this. We lean on the wall with our back. And this position, you see, it allows me to put my hands back. They will be located from the extended position of the deltoid, and then it will go forward, just like this. And from here, we start to lift both arms like this, up here, towards the center. The first corner is like this. When my hand goes here, my front deltoid is working together with the hand here. My front deltoid is working together with the chest muscle here. It attaches to the collarbone, and together they lift the hand. They make the first movement like this. So, lift like this. We make the movement on one line with the shoulder here. We make the second movement on one line with the shoulder here. Lift and lower. From 5 to 10 times, for those who ask how many they should do. The body will also tell you this. From 5 to 10 times, do it for starters. It depends on the weight, how much you take in your hands. If you're doing it with crayons, then 10. If pens, then 7. Right here, to the third corner under 45 degrees. This angle is very important because it is under this angle that the movement in the step occurs here. In a normal step, you feel as if your hand is going forward. Actually, it gets here. It turns out like this because of the fact that the body rotation happens. Just like that. Now you know how this movement actually happens. Pay attention. The thumb looks up at all times. You don't need to twist too much, just make sure it's up, so that your load goes more on the front deltoid. That was the first exercise. The number of sets is not so important for the muscle to grow. Ideally, do from 10 to 15 repetitions. 12 and 13 is okay. No less than 10, no more than 15. 10, 12, 13. But 14, 15, 16 is no good. There are 3 positions, see? 1, 2, 3. In each position, you can do 2 to 3 approaches. It all depends on how much strength you have. Someday you can do one quantity, some other. You won't always do it equally good. You can always do it equally bad, though, but it's impossible to always do it equally well. Here's the first thing. In 3 positions. First, do one, then rest. Then the second approach, then rested. Then the third and rest again. The middle deltoid is a difficult exercise. Do the front one for a week, then come back for the middle one. We'll meet later. Show me how you train the front. We'll look at the middle and see whether I have to show it to you at all. You can't switch to the middle one until you've done the front one. So now do it. I'll check later. In a week, show me how to do it in the comments. Yes, you don't laugh. I am telling to you specifically. I'll specifically check you next time so that your front deltoid is powerful, even pulsing a little.